Is an involuntary, that is automatic response to a stimulus. It depends on integrity of reflex pathway, that is the reflex arc. Here a sensory impulse is automatically converted into motor effect through the involvement of central nervous system. When a person walks barefooted and he steps over a thorn, he withdraws his affected limb while extends the other limb to support the body weight. The whole action is reflex and does not require presence of will. Reflex arc. It is consist of receptor, an afferent neuron, and effector organ. The number of synapses, that is the connection between afferent and efferent neurons, vary from 1 to many hundred. These synapses are located in the brain or spinal cord. The activity in the reflex arc starts in the sensory receptor with receptor potential, which is non-propagated graded response whose magnitude is proportional to the strength of stimulus. This generates all or none action potentials in the neurons. So this is a diagram showing the reflex arc, which consists of receptors, afferent nerve fibers, then internuntial neurons which acts as integrators, then we have efferent neurons, then we have effector and organs. In the afferent nerve, the number of action potential being proportionate to the size of generator potential. In the CNS, the responses are again graded in terms of excitatory postsynaptic potential or inhibitory postsynaptic potential at the synaptic junctions. All or none responses are generated in the efferent nerve. When these reach the effector, they again set up a graded response, that is end plate potential. When the effector is smooth muscle, the response summate to produce action potential in the smooth muscle, but when the effector is skeletal, the graded response is always adequate to produce action potential that bring about muscle contraction. So this is showing a reflex arc. Again, the sense organ where they are going to produce action potential. In the afferent neuron, they produce action potential, and again in the synapse they produce EPSP or IPSPs. Again in the efferent neuron there will be generation of the action potential, and at the effector end where there is a neuromuscular junction, they produces end plate potential. Again in the muscle they produce action potential. From above, it is clear that the portions of arc, that is the specialized for transmission, that is they have afferent and efferent axon muscle membrane. The responses are all or none action potentials. It should be emphasized that the connection between the afferent and efferent neurons usually in the CNS, and activity in the reflex arc is modified by multiple inputs converging on the efferent neurons. Note that the afferent neurons enter via dorsal roots or cranial nerves. The efferent nerves leave via ventral root or corresponding motor cranial nerves. The principle that in the spinal cord the dorsal roots are sensory and the ventral roots are motor and is known as Bell-Megendie law.